The safari here offers a large home for native species, as well as large exotic animals like the American bison and Asian water buffalo. Steve now worries that the unrelenting drought and population explosion in the herds are taking a toll on the park's delicate ecosystem.
They eat a lot. Some of the indigenous vegetation was actually being killed by these animals eating it.
Today, Steve and Jay are employing state-of-the-art technology for photographing to get an accurate count of the park's burgeoning herd population.
And they got a lot of neat stuff.
Yeah, nice toys.
And they have a remote control helicopter. They have a camera on it. We're going to try to count some of the numbers of bison and water buffalo because we want to start a program to try to keep the population at a certain level.
You got everything you need?
You just direct us to where they are and we'll get to the right altitude and catch in the best quality we can for that.
What do you think, how high you going to be flying roughly?
50 to 100 feet, maybe a little above that.
Yeah. Okay.
If they're we could get close shots too, the herds. If there's certain details you need to see, we can bring it in, just let us know.
All right, great. This is the buggy we're going to take. You want to go ahead and gear up? We'll get our stuff on there and we'll get going. I know our water buffalo numbers are probably by far the biggest of the herd. I'm going to ballpark anywhere from 150 to 200 head.
Yeah.
And that may be a conservative number, actually.
Conservative. I've actually gone out and tried to count a lot of these bison and different animals in here, and it's almost an impossible task because there's no real way for us to mark each one of the individual ones we count. What we probably have to pay them is going to be a lot cheaper than a regular full-size helicopter.
The evidence of plant destruction is virtually everywhere as they cross to the far reaches of the park.
You'll notice the saw palmetto got little chalk marks where the tops are missing. That's from the water buffalo. They'll eat them completely down to nothing.
The wild hog population is particularly destructive, consuming both living plants and the grain intended for other animals.
You know what the gestation period is? What? 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days.
Yep.
They can have piglets almost 3 times a year.
Gee.
Wow. And by the time the last one at the end of the year comes out, the ones that were born first are already having babies.
The fence line's right over here in front of us and over on the right, so we're pretty much in the northern corner. Hopefully this will be the good enough spot to get at least this section of the park.
Even if, like I said, I know they're going to move around, we got to move, but this is a way to go ahead and give you a still in the frame. I can go, okay, I see 60 in this frame.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's something like that to where we're close to the animals like this.
Well, you know, another thing too is we can look at some of these animals, and you just like they follow, you know, killer whales. You can identify them by their horns. Not all, they're all different.
They don't look too enthused about us being here.
Once they pick a spot to launch the copter, Steve alerts the photographers to the dangers of working around the one-ton animals.
Right now, it's got its neck arched, but the thing that you watch for is when that tail goes up and it's shaped funny, that's when it's going to put its head down and come at you.
Remember, my eyes are on this helicopter the whole time, so Z.
Oh, I'll watch y'all guys.
We ain't going to let nothing happen.
Steve and Jay are awaiting the launch of a remote-controlled helicopter. They hope the photos that are taken from it will prove an easy way to count the number of large herd animals living in the park's borders.
What's the deal with the glasses, man?
These are the glasses that give you the video down feed, allows us to see what the camera sees from the helicopter once it's aloft.
Wow.
But we also have a remote control, has the tilt and the pan, allows us to position the camera.
And that's what I'm holding here?
That's what you're holding right there.
Cool. The RC thing is cool. So, you know, everybody's a big kid at heart, and I think that's one of the things out here was a new way, a little more inventive, just to bring something new to the park, to see it, and maybe get what we're looking for was a good thing.
That's what I like right there, bro. I was impressed how it took off. It flew just like a regular helicopter.
See if we get these water buffalo here.
That's one hell of an operation. 2 men, one to fly, one to catch the pictures.
Got some of that herd there.
Bringing it back towards us.
All right, hold there if you can for a position. Let me get some more shots here of this.
Coming for landing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Holy moly.
Get some great shots of the herd that was over here and this little stand of trees here too. It helps us to identify where we're targeting.
Try not to disturb the animals, that's the key. Keep them in a natural state. The way the chopper moved around, and it didn't really spook the animals too much.
As powerful as they are, the animals are easily spooked by swamp buggies and full-size helicopters.
The wind that comes down off a regular helicopter, usually the animals run. So, you would have had to take in the aerial pictures from a much greater height.
An accurate count of the herd animals means Steve and the staff will be able to limit the park's population to sustainable numbers.
We're going to try to come up with some kind of determination of how many we can leave in here safely without them having to eat the whole park up.
I think what we do is, I know we have limited flights, so I think we're going to go ahead and move over by the trail itself where the tour happens.
Okay.
And get a count in that area. I know we feed in that area to entice them in.
All right, let's do it.
This is a high-tech way of doing it, and to me, it's probably going to use a lot less man-hours and a lot less money involved in doing it this way than the old-fashioned way. See, this is the neat part about working at Billie Swamp Safari. You got to do nerd sometimes, but then you get to go out and do redneck sometimes. So you get the whole spectrum of it.
What about right here? That enough room?
Yeah, that's great.
All right, good.
We're launching.
A lot more quiet than a big one. A few of the animals would look up, but it really didn't spook them. That one cow's like, I don't think you can eat me, it's not that big.
Okay, see, I'm gonna come in for a landing.
You ever try flying a real one?
No, I like my feet planted on the ground. Feel safer that way.
Once the pictures are in, Jay will decide whether to take more aerial surveys in the future. After 15 years in the field, though, Steve knows that taking a census of active wildlife is never easy.
It's something that once you get started, you can't stop. You have to do this in a rhythm and in a grid, and unless you do the whole property, then it's for nothing. Go back out and do it off of buggies, it'd be about the same thing.
The thousands of creatures at